of detail you all know about them in the newspapers all over, and they have been very unlucky that they were caught doing this fraud and were punished. Nevertheless, this symposium, what this meeting is about, not fraud, stop fraud and flourish. And I'm going to play another tune to you, because I'm going to tell you that with fraud, don't try to play it wrong, but with fraud, you can have a huge success in the scientific scientific world. So it's about fraud and flourish. Of course, we all know that if you fraud in a scientific way, it's seen as a mortal sin. At the end of his scientific career and a loss of job. The two persons you saw before, they both lost their job at the end of the scientific career, and they will be ashamed for the rest of their life. So it's very dangerous to do that. And in the old days, and the old days are over, you could still get away with it as a PhD student with a little punishment by the professor. But unfortunately, those days are over. So we don't do this anymore. Professor Stapel came here and to give that professor title, and I just heard him also say that his PhD is doctor title, so he's really at the bottom of the line again. Remember, and I'm looking here at neurology sitting at the first row, this is Sigmund Freud, and we all know that many of the case reports he wrote to support his theory on psychoanalysis were combinations of patients, and sometimes he made up things or wrote them differently to fit into the theory. So, is this fraud or is it not fraud? I don't know, but this happened more than 100 years ago, so why should we bother today? This is the kind I want to talk about. You have to look at his face. This is a person who is really suffering the world with his fraud. This is Dr. Zamboni. A really interesting guy. He's a vascular surgeon. He's an associate professor at the University of Ferrara in Italy. Vascular surgeon, not a neurologist, a vascular surgeon. And he had a big idea somewhere in 2006. And he said, I'm going to write down this big idea. He called it the big idea. I mean, how possible can it be if you really write down this sort of thing? Well, you can only publish this in the Journal of Royal Society of Medicine. It sounds very, very prestigious, isn't it? It is an internet journal with a very low entrance rate, so, I mean, if you pay a little bit of money, you can publish and stuff there. So if you have a paper you can't get rid of, remember the Journal of Royal Society of Medicine. So he wrote about his idea, and his big idea was actually that if you have a stenosis in the jugular vein, that's in your neck there, then you have flow disturbances, you have iron deposits in your head, and then in relation with MS and clinical signs. So he said that if you have this, that is the cause of MS. There are hundreds of scientists all over the world looking for the cause of MS. He found it because you have a little stenosis in one of your jugular veins in your neck. First patient he treated, by the way, was his own wife. In 2006, that he put this in paper about 65 patients affected with the disease, and in 2009, 3 years later, and he called them chronic cerebrospinal venous insufficiency in patients with multiple sclerosis. And now comes the first level X, CCSPR. This sounds so easy. CCSPR, yes, I have CCSPR. Yes, this word really goes down very easy. So he's a marketing guy. So everybody knows without talking about CCSPR. He made it up completely. He did another study about the same 65 patients, exactly the same patient group, published in another journal, and also in 2009. And he claims that CCSPR is a new disease, even called the syndrome. Then he did the relation to clinical science. And he said if you do a balloon dilatation, it's like a carotid dilatation for coronary stenosis or whatever. You do a balloon dilatation of the jugular vein, you have strong improvement of science, and stop the progression of the next. 65 patients. With a single center publication, there's no control group, there was no randomization, the data were only seen by him, nobody has ever looked in his database. It was the University of Ferrara in Italy. That's the only science we have for this exposition. Why you would say, who would pay any attention to this? This is just somebody who has a big idea and, well, thing. However, the scientific world took it a little bit serious in the beginning. So there were loads and loads of publications, all kinds of very respectful journals, neurology saying none of the patients have it, another one, we find no evidence, neurology says, our data against CCSCI, there were so many papers, everybody saying, we cannot find anything. Everything he said is wrong, there's no data for it, not at all. It goes on and on. We have, I think, 40 publications studies that it does not exist. Here, this is the one, the perfect finder. CCS random a trace in MS. So people accuse him of criminality. Nobody can find anything. I published on this. Never-ending story. And this is what it is. It's just a never-ending story. So in the scientific world, there is a pile of documents telling that it's absolutely not true. Nobody can testify this. He published as this big idea. There's a commentary in neurology. You say faith and modern technology, pseudoscience, and churches replaces faith in traditional secularists. It also says that MS patients are particularly prone to faith healing because there's a lot of psychology about complaints of MS, and there seems to be a lot of MS patients who have some sort of subconscious, self-inflicted depression. And of course, what we're looking at is placebo. If you tell the patient you do a treatment, and if you let him pay 10,000 to 16,000 euros for treatment, the patient will do better, because he will feel very guilty if you pay so much money, and he won't get better. So it's an all big placebo. It's been shown for hundreds and hundreds of years at marketplaces everywhere, and now he's doing it again. Never announced his of course. So they around and keep smiling. Why is he so successful? And why are the others not successful? Why are Tafel and Solomon out of business? And why is he up and running? He was in London last weekend giving a presentation. He's a successful speaker at a lot of congresses. Really is. He has a huge group of followers and admirers. He's still working at the University of Ferrara. He is talented. What do? He communicates to the media. He doesn't communicate to anything else. He communicates to the media. Because the television is on the internet. You can find his name, you go to YouTube, you find 20 videos where he's promoting the thing. He calls this the liberation treatment. Isn't it clever? Liberation treatment. I mean, good marketing. And he mobilizes patients to the social networks. The internet, if you go there, find 30 places in the world where you have to pay about 10,000 euros to get the Zamboni treatment in a couple of years' time. This is what you find on one of the social networks. The Siskin is a surgeon from New York, known, by the way, a discussion with him. The patient writing me, thank you for bringing us hope. Can't wait to meet you and get the procedure done on me. See you soon, calling. Soon to be liberated. It's a stage. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's going on and on. Why is it happening? Well, the difference between the two guys I showed at the beginning and this person is that those two guys had an academic discussion. They want to live in the academic world and they want to have good feedback in the academic world. While he doesn't live in the academic world. He lives in another world. He talks to patients. Is that stupid? No, it isn't. There was a Nature paper about 2 weeks ago saying it's called The Power of the People, and they say that we quite often as doctors underestimate how important it is to talk to patients. So they didn't understand that. Why are they out? Academic training. They were Dr. Zamboni is not after academic training. They have no patient volume. They have accessible data, and my thing is first of all, move to Italy. Well, you probably can't get away with everything in Italy, so you move to Italy, you're set. So if you want to talk, move to Italy. That's all. Learn about marketing, very important. Find a credible patient group for your lobby, very important. Avoid academic discussions. Never have academic discussions, because if you have them, you're on the wrong track. So conclusion. And I just want to show this case because it's a horrible case. And it's going on, but it's showing that not all medical staff will immediately end up a medical career. He's not pursuing a medical career. Actually, he's just a businessman selling false hope to patients and having a little bit of science on the side to make it a little bit of color. But you see, those things can happen. But please, do not try this. Thank you.